Probably. I don't know if my sound is good right now because I'm on my phone because I can choose my mic.
I'll just put your volume up so people can hear you just in case.
Yeah, that sounds correct. We don't have game audio to see if the balance is correct, but I'm going to assume it's good and that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, if it's too loud, he has to change mid-run. His fault.
I mean, dude, I haven't changed the game volume at all. If you check my previous VODs.
Now you should be good. Your audio is normally actually pretty balanced. And there are not that many like high-pitched bridges or whatever shit. So it's actually okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. All right, I guess we are ready to go. So
Alright,
I'm
let's
going
jump
to do the
down.
countdown.
Like countdown already or?
I mean, if you're ready.
Yeah,
As soon as you're
sure.
ready.
When you're ready, just give me the countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Good
Okay,
luck.
time for some big meme run.
Do you want to stay here or do we go a channel below?
Turning what below?
In Discord. We are in the general channel, not the speedrun.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm just...
You're just being picky, that's it.
Nah,
alright.
I'm not picky. It's just like, you know, general channel is more like preparation and stuff, and
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun. So this is Zestiria. We are playing on PC, and we're playing with keyboard for a very good reason. That's because whenever you're pressing diagonals in this game on keyboard, you're going like 1.4 faster. Welcome to Zestiria.
Yeah. Which is pretty good, so we can avoid almost every encounter in this game with that speed.
Yep, and that's what makes this run really cool. Because actually hitting encounters is really bad, especially early in. And then later on you're going to keep picking them.
oh, it's finally happening. Oh, my most beloved game. I love this game, dude. I just love it.
Yeah, Zestiria is so weird. Like, a lot of people hate it, and there's some who love it.
I don't even care. I love this game. I mean, if you're spending that much time as I did, then you just need to love it. There's no way around it.
Well, you're a different case, Itoshira.
Yeah, probably because I'm a madman in this case.
Well, this game is really fun to run and to just play. Also, if the stream is going to lag a little bit, it's just because I need to dashboard against. I think I can edit it. I'm sure.
You should be able.
If you have dashboard access, then you should be able to change it, yeah.
Alright, Tails. However, the game is going to lag a little bit because of that. I'm sorry.
So the basic idea currently in the beginning is we want to get a certain amount of AP by checking the monoliths that are standing around. Every time you check one of these, you kind of like get a tutorial, which is just text-based, and you get an additional AP, which you can use for battle actions. They have different reasons for like auto-dodging, yeah, remembering everything.
Well, auto-dodging.
I mean, mainly auto-dodging is actually the main thing, because we want to go as safe as possible, because in the later game, we are pretty much one-shot from nearly every boss. But some other stuff that is mostly used in casual stuff, like switching characters and stuff.
Okay, so I can't edit the dashboard for some reason. So we're gonna stick with Stirnia until get ready.
Okay.
Apparently the stream is
anyone.
lagging.
Yeah, because as I said, if I load the browser and try to edit stuff, it's trying to load a bunch.
Okay. So the lag should be gone somewhat sooner.
Yeah, it should settle soon. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Six
guys,
power points.
don't worry, you aren't missing much right now. It's just early
Right
game.
now, actually, yeah, true. You are not missing much.
If it
It's a
keeps
typical
lagging,
Tales of beginning. We are running around, getting introduced to the world and the circumstances, skipping
If it keeps lagging,
cutscenes.
just tell me and just reset the stream and set.
It seems to Gucci. We're Gucci now.
Alright
This
then.
game runs in 30 FPS, but we don't actually need 60 FPS.
Yeah.
No, for this game you don't need 60 FPS because the game is locked on 30 FPS. Which is kinda a problem at times, not so much for keyboard and mouse players, but if you're playing this game on controller, you can actually have slight issues with the cutscene skipping. Because of the 30 FPS, the menu is not so responsive as in, for example, Zestiria or other Tales games. There's just a slight lag happening, so if you're too fast, actually, then the input gets not registered.
It's great.
Which is sometimes funny, because, yeah, I'm a controller player, and sometimes I'm like, no, 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 come on! You know, I want to just skip it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cutscene skips.
Because we're on in keyboard plus mouse, we can just switch options with the mouse. And very easy.
Yeah,
With
it's
mouse.
super easy, definitely.
But like honestly, for the few menus we have to do in this game, it's fine. Like, sure, it's not the best menuing game, but just go with the flow.
Just go with the flow. The actual menu is actually quite okay. This menu is absolutely fine. It's just really the cutscene skipping if you're going too fast. That is kind of like, in a speedrun perspective, is kind of like a slight issue. You have to get used to that. The normal menu is actually pretty good. It functions well. Yeah, you know, see also the battle actions, which actually also get unlocked under certain conditions. You have to do, I wanna like call it quests, but you get like more or less missions that you have to do certain stuff like dodging 10 times or use certain feature of the game a certain amount of time and stuff like that to actually unlock these battle actions.
And battle
I'm gonna
actions are
use
basically
some.
passive.
What was that?
Battle actions are basically passives.
Yeah, there are passive effects that can take active effects, like the dodging, for example, or so, or you can have additional controls, like the faster character switching and stuff.
It's good. Too bad you need to do higher difficulty stuff for it.
Higher difficulty is actually locked behind the amount of battles you do on the certain difficulty.
Yeah. So that is quite a lot. So
That
right now we're small, and just to give you an idea about who Shin is with this game, he's the current world record holder in this category.
Yeah,
Again.
like
0.3 seconds, like on the last run he did.
yeah.
Luck ever, but this game is luck. Like, if you get lucky, then you're going to get a good run. Right? Don't mess up. If you don't, then
Like, there's a reason why the estimate is so long compared to my PB, because a lot of things can go wrong in this run.
Well, also it was the estimate for
Ugh.
it was the estimate for me, and I'm definitely not as
Yeah.
as Shin. I doubt you would have gone for this estimate.
Yeah, the main point was we would do a race here, but then LGG backed out, and I have to.
I didn't back out. It's just that I had to be hosting. So
Yeah, well, yeah, that's basically other issues.
don't
What?
say I back down. I would have run against you.
Yeah.
That's right.
Alright, I get it. It's alright,
Also,
I'll do this job. Someone has to run this game anyway.
But there's still a good reason why the estimate can be actually this high, because one thing that is a problem with the Zestiria run is it snowballs heavily. For example, if the upcoming character is not a certain level at a certain point, then you can run into slight to actually big issues. And this basically starts right off the beginning, because we don't have many fights we are gonna take, and we need to make sure that every important character actually gets the XP. So if characters missing out on a couple boss fights or so because they are dying, this actually snowballs heavily into the end game.
Yeah.
Which can make the end game actually a big problem. Because the money route and the items we are getting is actually pretty tight by now, because Fel and Shin pretty much more or less optimize this game. It's still some RNG elements because of the fight system, but for the most part it's actually pretty become tight.
There's always going to be RNG issues with this game because that's
absolutely it's Zestiria. We are talking about Zestiria.
Just how Berseria is the most consistent speed game. Zestiria is by far the...
Yeah, like stuns in Zestiria are literally random, while Berseria stuns can be predictable, so you can expect when they come.
Help me! My migraine is coming back!
Oh, that's some long super armor there.
Stuns are just such a pain in this game. I tried, Thel and we tried everything, like maxing out stats on NG Plus and whatnot. It's impossible. It's just impossible. We tried everything.
Feels so good to not split.
Oh,
I can mash through right away through the battle screen.
Yeah. As you see, we got the power hit system here in Zestiria as well, which is a standalone system. There is no weakness system like in Berseria, but you can ramp up the multiplier.
Yeah.
Which kinda works like a weakness system, but it doesn't have the additional effect that every element is basically a power hit. That is only under one circumstance, and that is with the amortization. There it can happen. That you can have a certain amount of time where basically everything staggers, but that's about it.
Goodbye, good opening.
Yay.
Sadly, I have to skip that.
Sadly, the opening of this year is actually pretty good. I'm still bummed about it that in the English version they only have an instrumental version, because the Japanese version is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, copyright.
Yeah, it's probably copyright issues.
There is two types of cutscenes in this game. There is anime cutscenes, which are basically videos, and like non-anime cutscenes, which are loading sprites of the character and doing around. And basically, the anime cutscenes load way faster. The character ones, as in they are pretty much instantly loaded, so you can nearly like skip them right away. Well, in-game cutscenes, they just take a little bit. So
yeah, they went with the approach of introducing interactive cutscenes, basically. If you have played, for example, Star Ocean 5, you know what that means. And we can do, in some of them, do some shenanigans. Pretty
yeah.
soon, you're gonna see what we mean by that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except Wolf is blocking the path.
So wolves, you're not supposed to outspeed them, but because we are keyboard, yay.
Yeah, just go faster than them.
Yeah. Wolves are the worst enemy you can have at the early game because they catch you if they are starting fairly at a certain amount of time when you are passing them. If they start running at you, they're gonna catch you. There's nothing to do about that, but as you see, with the keyboard glitch, we can just easily outrun them, no problems at all.
So the problem about this glitch is that since it's only faster if you go diagonally, then that means that's basically why the camera is this weird angle, because that way you can actually run in diagonal in a straight line.
Whoa, what was that?
Ooh, LGG. That was vibration. That's a typical handy vibration sound.
Okay, sorry, I'm turning off my phone. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely sound like phone vibration there.
Yeah, I know that from my girlfriend just too well. It's always a pleasure.
I'm
Great
sorry,
stuff.
the first time I'm using Discord on my phone because
I thought, cool, man. It can happen. It's no problem, man.
Alright, so this city is basically the first city where if you have a slow computer, you're gonna notice the lag really easily because the wheel is creating a lot.
Yeah, some areas are a little bit intense on the graphics, the graphics card. Not so the CPU, it's actually more or less a GPU for the most part. And especially Lady Lake can be an issue.
By the way, the dog lives.
So yeah, this dog, if you go too slow, it just dies. There's no reason for you to go too slow, except when you're.
God damn it, Cleo. With that super armor.
So before the first fight, we actually need to show that story get Tiger Blade for this fight. Tiger Blade gives you attack buff. Basically like all the story. So that's neat. So we
Please
get that
skip
buff.
Tiger Blade buff.
And since that's completely random.
Don't want to talk to you, Cleo. Yeah, the Nani Parabalunar is the best one.
Yeah.
you just keep hitting him, he's like, Nani?
And after that, that's Shin, because Shin just loves saying Nani whenever you talk to him.
Yeah.
Has all those little expressions, kind of like. So, if you mess up a little bit too much here, you can actually sell the royal knife instead of showing it to the guard. That's.
But yeah, that's only LGG thing.
Yeah, I only did that once, and it was obviously for marathon. So I was like, oh, what am I doing? Stop doing that. Oh no, what do I do now? and I had to improvise on the fly, trying to understand what. Anyway, he just got going by Layla, his fire Seraph. So she has
first person camera for a bit. I don't know what's happening right now.
And, like, basically this game has two types of characters. There's humans who have physical arts, hidden arts, and Seraphs who have physical arts and seraphic arts. And the way attacks works in this game is that there is a little weapon triangle, as in physical arts are good against seraphic arts are good against hidden, and hidden are good against physical. Martial. Kind of.
It's actually nearly the other way around. Martial arts stronger than hidden arts over seraphic arts, and
No?
no.
What?
Yeah, normally you cancel hidden arts with martial arts. Or do I just mess up one thing again?
You're messing up. It's the other way around.
I think it's like the typical thing with me and stuff like that. Right.
Your spell, you're gonna use Target Blade. No,
Professional casters.
Yeah, professional casters. I have a habit of, like, in Tales games, I always switch other things around. Like Break Soul, I always set Soul Break. For whatever reason, I have no idea.
Yeah, we can't blame you though.
Yeah, always blame me. Hashtag blame Ito, that's a common thing. Absolutely.
For once, I wasn't wrong on things. Yay.
Shenanigans. That's what we were talking about. There is actual NPC collision in this game, which is normally used to kind of like prevent you from accessing areas. Well, the thing is, it's also happening in cutscenes, so we actually have a couple of little breaks in this game, which you see here, and yeah, we can just set the controller down, wait out, because the cutscene only ends until Layla actually passes through the door. We cannot speed it up at all. There's no chance.
Yeah, so that's very neat to scroll notes, because there's a few of them.
Forgot. This...
That was nice and burst out from me though.
Yeah, double mine with defense.
Ooh.
About skills in this game, we did not really explain it, but every weapons have a set skill on the first slot, and then the 2, 3rd, and 4th are random skills, completely random. And there is like 50 skills total.
In total of 50 skills, yes.
And what you want is basically have a character with the 5 first one get what we call soldier. And soldier is basically plus 20 stats in every stat. That's very huge in the game. That's basically double stats. And what we're going to aim for is double soldier, which is going to carry us throughout early game and mid game, if we can set it up correctly. Because, like, as we said, it's completely random, so it's depending on the items we find in chests have random skills. The item we have in shops have random skills. The amount of items we're gonna have are random. You can have like 10, like Shin has right now, have 0, like Fel usually have. It's fun. So that means that every time you're trying to set up soldier in early game, you are basically trying to do it on the fly and trying to figure out on your head, what am I missing? Where are my what items should I switch in order to get my stats? A lot of consideration to take into your brain.
Also, you will see often me just standing AFK for a while at the shop just because I'm waiting for the text box to disappear. Otherwise, you cannot do anything in the shop because just a keyboard thing for some reason.
Well, you can do it. It's
but
just
you just it's really like awkward, I guess. Like sometimes you can buy stuff, sometimes you cannot.
Like you really need to understand how it works, and it's still going to be slow, hard to control.
Yeah.
Like really hard to explain how it works, but you kind of have to play around with it to realize that it's complete garbage. Because basically, when there is a little text box on the screen while you are in the menu, like there was a skit when you were actually open the menu, your mouse input every time you're gonna you're not going to be able to menu with your key. You're only able to menu with your mouse. And every time you're going to try to, say, switch categories, the game is going to think that the item that was set when you switch categories is like you try to buy it or sell it. So it really is very awkward. And it's true for shops, it's also true whenever we're going to try to quick travel. So it's kind of things to keep in mind when you're on people like is do I have a text whenever you record. So this is the boss fight. Then the couple get bodied pretty hard. Stuns in this game works exactly the same as the
Yo, dude, one cycle!
Nice.
Wow.
That's the best slime fight ever.
Hi,
So
by the way.
the way stuns work is basically
Yo, hi,
whenever
Phil.
you get a bunch of damage. And the way TP works is not really TP. I'm not even sure what.
It's
I
called
think
SC.
Yeah, it's all SC. Well, you have 100 of them to start every time. You cannot increase it, and it's going to go. The only way to increase that SC is SC regen with focus. It doesn't. I think it only does increase.
Nah, nothing good there.
I think we lost LGG, he was cutting out.
Oh, great. Good job.
Ah, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know why. I don't know. Why
Yeah, that's no problem. So basically, SC is kind of like the equivalent, more or less, to the typical combo system you have in a couple of previews, like Cilia, the Zestiria, the Soul Count. It just has a slight difference that it's actually basically a regenerative bar that you use like mana, for example. And there's only one way actually to increase it. Either you don't use as much SC, because the slower on SC as you go, the slower it regenerates, and you can increase it with like a passive effect of skills plus SC regeneration. It kind of like limits you a little bit, but you can also have more or less a really high amount, because you always regenerate while you're, for example, casting. If you are doing a long cast, you can actually, during the cast animation that comes afterwards, you regenerate actually again before you can do the next cast. And
Are you trying to hint that casting is broken in this game?
no, not at all, never. No. Casting is actually pretty broken. There are a couple skills that do really high amount of damage, and you're gonna hear one specifically very often.
Also, unskippable cutscenes.
Oh yeah, unskippable cutscenes, we got only a couple, and they are not that long, except for one chain, I should add. But yeah, this is also like a more or less a time fight. The game wants to introduce the BG system, which is now indicated with the number and the circle. As soon as you hit 1 BG, the cutscene kicks in. Good times on NG+, because you can just use a bottle. And
Cheater.
and you basically do it by the auto-dodging. That's why the auto-dodging is for, because if you dodge, you also get BG. And if you get hit, you get BG. So you can kind of like speed it up a little bit.
And
ideal
it also,
situation
like,
in that fight is
to
just
like
be
have
attacked
to
by
try
2 or 3
to
of them.
dodge
Yeah.
the circle. Like that's the only thing that prevents me from doing no auto dodges runs. It's this fight because I'm not competing with my dodging ability with this line.
Well, that's kind of like a little problem. I don't completely remember if the
Spread out
Zestiria...
slimes.
That will always happen because of one specific reason. Only a certain amount of enemies can attack you at the same time, and if I remember correctly, it's actually 5 enemies. Every other enemy will not attack you, they will just stand around, wait off, or attack another character. Since we are kinda alone, they will just stand where they are, so you kinda like hope that they at least all come a little bit closer, but it can happen that like 1 or 2 are completely far off and say, nope, not dealing with that, you guys do that, I'm gonna chill here. And you actually have to run at them then.
On average, you only have to do 2 full combos after Amortizing there to kill all of the slimes, but Shin had to do 3 in a bit, so
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah,
But,
the last 2 were like in the wrong positions there.
Yeah. We could have used Burning Echo to clean them up faster, but it's like it wouldn't have mattered that much.
Technically, you
Still
just
didn't
could do a double dash and do the last R there because it still one-shots the slimes. But yeah.
Did we explain Kamui transformation? Or like how it works?
Amortization is a fairly simple system. There is not that much to it. The main reason why amortization is pretty much broken is because Sore fuses with one of the Seraphs. And what they basically do is they fuse their stats as well. Mainly attack stats. And you can get to a maximum amount, if you're gonna go absolutely crazy, of 4,000 stat, which is not much if you compare it to other Tales games, but the scaling in this game actually makes it, again, a huge deal, because stats are more or less the main increase in damage, especially early on. Unlike Zestiria, we kinda like have a barrier with the defense system, where you need to penetrate a certain amount of defense to do actual damage. And you overcome this the fastest with actually increasing your stats. That's why Soldier is actually a major deal to have, especially Double Soldier, because these 40 stats actually matter a lot. They are way better than just getting new equipment or so. I mean, the attack is good, cool, but it's not an actual massive increase because stats are a little bit easier to gain also during level ups and so on.
Yeah, and
Also,
like
no-
until game we're going to sit around 200 stats with Double Soldier, and also like every time you're going to get a level, you're gonna get more stats the more stats you have. So like say you have a billion of physical attack and no
All these
defense.
super
If you
stats.
get a level, you're not going to get defense, but you're going to get physical MP attack.
You still get very little stats on level up in this game, unfortunately, no matter what. But
Overall,
a
yes.
small amount of
sadly.
stats meat goes a long way in this game until like the late game when we start destroying everything, no matter what stats we have.
Yeah, because there is one cool thing that's going to come up in late game. We're not going to spoil it yet.
But so far,
There
you
are
have been
so many
spoiling
cool
everything
things.
during this marathon.
Well,
No, we're gonna have the pleasure of like letting Zestiria do the work.
Yeah.
The main fun part for me personally is, I mean, I can understand that the skill system is kind of a pain to get into because it's actually pretty complex and has a lot of ways it can actually go, but combined with the equipment system, which also people don't really like most of the time, if you actually dig into it, you can break this game so heavily, it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah. This game is in like top 3 most broken Tales games in New Game Plus. You like just walk up and amortize in front of an enemy, and it will one-shot everything in New Game Plus because of how much prep we've done.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
prep
considering
out-
that you can take over equipment as well, which is also not a given in all Tales games.
The prep
can
is however
Prepare
confusing.
equipment.
Like, I don't know how long did it take you to set up your save, Peter? 'Cause
I stopped
You did it
counting at
legit.
1.5k hours.
yeah, there you
I
go.
stopped
This man is crazy.
And that was
Yeah.
grinding and testing and messing around and yeah. RNG is a big deal in the farming aspect. That's why it took me so long.
Yeah, meanwhile,
But-
Fel just did his way for his.
Yeah, he did his way. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm a grinding masochist, so I don't bother with it. But I can understand.
It's very easy to understand. Right?
It took
Like,
me
this
like
is-
2 hours to make my save.
Yeah, because you all fell.
2 hours.
Mhm.
The thing is,
Yeah,
you
like,
still
this
have
is-
to play through on half EXP Chaos to get the most out of herbs. Because you can only use
Yeah,
herbs up
that
to
is
the current
a
maximum.
thing.
So you have to be lowest level possible when you get characters to use herbs on them to the maximum. So you have to play all the way through the game.
Really?
I think he's talking about the centipede fight, actually.
Yep.
So in this fight, we are
I
using
kinda
something
want-
that's called Vanish. It deals a
hit
lot of
the-
damage. It's really the only way to actually deal damage to these guys. It costs 1 BG, and it takes forever to charge. And
Yeah,
if you get
these
hit
were really
by
bad
anything-
banishes, sadly.
If you get hit by anything while you're doing the Vanish, the animation is cancelled and you lost your BG.
Except sometimes. Sometimes the game will just give you Iron Stance during it for some reason. We don't
For
know why.
absolutely no reason. This game is silly a lot of the times. And the reason we're using Vanishes is A, it's a lot of damage. And the second one is because we want to use, I believe, 8 Vanishes before, like, as soon as possible so that we get Quick Vanish. Because Quick Vanish is OP.
The only reason
Quick
it's
Vanish
8
is a Quick Vanish is a quick battle action that allows us to use Vanish instantly if the enemy is stunned. So not only the enemy is going to be stunned and will take extra damage, we'll also be able to use the biggest DPS we have instantly to deal them damage. So that's cool.
Also, you get a full BG refresh after Mikleo joins you and you armatize with him, because you get a tutorial, so you definitely want to use all of your BG on Firearm Attis.
Yep.
The reason you have to do 8, by the way, like 8 extra ones, strictly speaking, is because in the Slimes fight earlier we armatized once, and in this fight we armatize with Mikleo once as well. Which... those count as
Vanishes.
banishes for the unlocking quick banish, which you unlock at 10.
Yeah, as soon as you armatize, there's an auto banish happening. And that actually counts.
It's a lot
Interestingly
less,
enough.
it's a lot less potent than the fully charged
Oh, yeah.
normal one though.
True.
It does a lot less damage, and like normal banishes have a lot of stun percent on them, but the armatized one is like a quarter of that because it's so instant.
It's still like a very good opener.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can use it to stagger enemies additionally also, definitely. It's for free, basically. So another shopping session, because shops in this game work the same as in Zestiria. After a certain amount of battles, there can be a refresh happening, and the amount you get refreshed can also be random. Normally it's 3 battles, but sometimes it's kinda like it's weird because it's not happening actually, or you actually get unlucky and you get no refresh at all.
No, it always
It's a
happens at
way
3 battles. The question is what refresh you got. Sometimes the
Yeah.
shop will not change at all after a refresh, just because it's incredibly volatile compared to Zestiria. Where in that game, you pretty much always get a certain amount of each type of each type of equipment. Whereas in this game, it can give you literally nothing if it wants to. You can just have the basic like consumables in the shop and nothing else.
And the fun part is, shops are actually predetermined at the start of the game, which can be funny. They are.
Yes, they are.
It's the same with
100%.
chests, with equipment in chests that has random stats. They all are predetermined at the start of the game. And Fel had this happening in the last marathon, or the first one, that one of the later shops, actually one of the more important shops for certain equipment, had actually only recoverable items, no equipment at all.
I think it happened to me in both marathons I've run this, actually.
It could also be in both. It was literally nothing. And had a fun time, definitely.
Ugh, stop blocking me.
Ouroboros, hello darkness, my old friend. Ouroboros is probably the pain and the bane of every challenge player that played this game from start to finish on hard difficulty. Because this guy can heal himself.
Alicia,
And
do
a
your
certain
thing,
day-
please.
Of the day, of the week, he actually does it a lot. And if you cannot interrupt it properly, which is kinda like an iffy timing if you're not used to it, then you can sit here for at least like 10 to 20
Well,
minutes.
at
and
least
that's
it
fine.
wasn't that bad.
Oh, you got a
Well,
stun.
you got a stun. You can complain.
Nice.
Well, this time wasn't on chain, dude. I'm gonna complain.
You always complain, dude.
Oh no, I got a stun, but it wasn't with Shane. Like, come on, dude, you got a stun. That's super rare in this area. You should jump joy.
Oh, it was superb. I thought it was those invincible guys.
So
It was
there's
still an okay
threats
fight.
with Ouroboros. You can either go fire or water armor. Water armor is basically it can go faster, but it can also go even worse than
It
everything. You can
usually
Yeah.
goes faster.
Yeah,
It's
if Alicia procs the snack weakness.
all the dragon weakness.
Yeah,
one or
yeah.
top
Oh
of them.
yeah, that one as well
But
works.
it doesn't matter which one she does, but basically if you get power hit on an enemy, which Shin is calling Chain because he's a Berseria player, at the end of your combo you will regenerate a percentage of the SC you used on the combo, and that basically lets you loop the fight for like 3 or 4 full art chains. Whereas
Yeah.
Water Arm Matters is normally really expensive, so you can
Oh,
use
yes.
like almost 2 full art chains before you're completely out of SC, normally.
And also, considering that water armor doesn't prog the weakness, while fire does, it's fun.
Yeah, Fire can proc the Sneck weakness with its first art every time, but Fire Armatus's damage is just so much lower at this point in the game
Yeah.
compared to Water.
Keyword
Oh,
at this
definitely,
point in the game.
Just base values and combo ability. Those 2 things alone make Water Armatus a lot more powerful in the early game. But Fire will shine later on, don't you worry.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Fire will definitely shine.
Definitely. I mean, just a little side note on how broken especially fire amortization is. Back in like I think 2 years ago, I did a challenge run on lowest level possible on chaos mode, which is the highest difficulty, and I reached level 16 for the final boss fight. 16 or 17 was it? which is compared to a casual playthrough where you usually are around level 50 to 60 on normal. It's quite a difference because Chaos also has like reduced XP values. And I also use half XP, so I only got overall 20% of the usual experience. And I still was able to manage the fight with some other help of some mechanics in this game, but fire amortization was actually the carry of the game.
As it should
So,
be.
yeah. It's fun, it's fun. We're gonna explain why that is. And if you have any trouble, you know what to do.
Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the guard cutscene.
Oh, Steve,
Because-
yeah, hi Steve.
Wait,
How's it
wait,
going,
wait,
buddy?
it's not over, it's the second part now happening.
Well, it is called Steve.
Yeah,
Not
this guard,
Steve.
this specific
Susan.
guard is called Steve. That's my friend Steve.
It's not Steve. You're being
Oh.
anti-gender. It's Susan. It's a female god.
It's Susan? Okay. How did you know
It's
it's
a male god, but it's a female
Susan?
god. Yeah, it's Susan.
Interesting.
How do you know that it's a male god?
Because I had a friend, an NPC friend in another game that was actually called Steve, and he helped me out throughout the game, and this guy is absolutely, as you see, he is helping out a lot, showing us the way, carrying us through it. That's why I
Opening door.
thought, like, this has to be Steve. He's probably incognito, he doesn't want to get recognized, but I know him well.
The only Steve I knew was a slingshot.
Yeah, it's actually fun to have this kind of like collision that you can abuse. It actually, I mean, Zestiria is a very active game from start to finish because you don't have much breaks, and without these cutscenes, you are basically constantly doing inputs and whatnot.
Yeah, it's
Unlike Zestiria, where you can basically skip nearly everything.
And also, like, Bergeria has really boring movements.
That
Well,
is well, that's actually real speed tech in this game. You may not believe it, but we have real speed tech actually.
Talking about maybe like why is dodging encounters very important in this game. You have 5 tutorials.
6.
That is going 6.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
have 6.
Yeah.
You have 6 tutorials that are going to happen every time you're going to hit a random encounter. And tutorials in this game, they refresh your BG. And you can't refresh BGs with End, just like in Bergeria, so that's literally your only source of free BG refresh. So we really want to be careful with encounters and don't hit them so that we can keep our BG refresh to get the cool strats later on in the game. And that's like in, I don't know, 2 hours 30? That gets... Like, we use them up until
Once the
3
trial
hours.
starts, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
The
up till 8
difference.
hours.
Hmm?
It starts at 1 hour 30 into the run, and up to 3 hours we're using our there. Very much.
Unlike Berseria, we cannot escape from these tutorials. We actually, as soon as you are hitting a tutorial, you have to finish it. You cannot leave the fight any other way. And that makes it problematic, so that's why we are really deliberately trying to avoid any random encounters for now. Later on, we want certain encounters because of the mental speed tech.
Yeah, the real speed tech that makes Zestiria an amazing speed game.
Definitely.
So Shin is going for the inferior strat here, which is fire.
Yeah. Water doesn't work for me on this fight for some reason.
I can understand that because the thing is, Alicia is basically the only one that can proc the snake race on her attacks, besides the fire amortization, and it can easily happen that Alicia just gets smacked down just like that. So going with the fire amortization, you are able to actually start the power hit combo and have consistent damage going. As in, if you're using water, it can happen that you are basically, not doing that much.
Not only that, but if Alicia dies, no, not Alicia.
We don't care about Alicia, she just can die as much as she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Layla dies, you are in trouble.
Yeah, if
Definitely,
Layla
yes.
or Mikleo
And-
dies, then yeah, it's kind of trouble.
Well,
We
Mikleo
need
is
the
fine.
No,
no, not really.
I don't think he gets the BG for the title on the V2. Also, damn, I missed.
Well, it's still fine. Like,
Well,
not much.
if we get
Yeah, more or
stun on
less.
first try, then yes, I guess. But yeah, you don't really want
Just
them
choose to get the
dying.
stun.
Easier said than done.
That's what you did
fell.
on your recent run. That's what you did on your recent run, right? You just chose to get all the stuns?
Well, it's not me who did the choosing, it was the game.
I don't think it was a game, no.
No.
I cannot confirm that statement. Nope. Yeah, but it kind of like is a game actually, because the game really decides if you have like a top tier run going or not. It's
This
basically
game-
just that.
This game decides pretty much everything.
Yeah. So if you have the chance of kind of like get a good affinity and relationship with RNG, then make sure you're gonna do it. Don't question it, just do it.
Yo, Shin got the interest. So hard to take.
Why do I keep getting attack on Alicia's gear? God damn it. It's
At
already
least you get skills.
it's the
So
second
the attack
time.
skill. The attack skill is the most like valuable one that we want on Sorry because it's the only one we can't guarantee in the early game.
Yeah, because like
Oh,
as
yeah.
we explained, all weapons have a set skill. That's on first slot, and attack is only available in Side Sword, which is in the next shop. So we have this 1 hour section where we could not guarantee attack, which is not gonna be true once we hit the next time. Because now we can say goodbye to Lay. We're done with Lay forever. Really. Boy, is the quick save starting?
Of course, no enemy spawns. What do you expect me to do?
Be brave. Not save. Go fast. Take the encounter.
Like-
Try.
Dude, if only in rest gave BG like in Zestiria, life would be so much easier.
And I was so mad when I discovered after playing the game that in Berseria ends fresh to repeat. I was generally very, very frustrated because I never took ends. Anyway, coming up is a fun fight. Get ready, get your star please ready. You probably know
So
the
far,
guy.
this run is clean, but we are also talking about like the first hour of the game, which is normally fairly consistent.
Actually, it's still Zestiria. Nothing is consistent in this game. Everything is spaghetti.
There was
Ah, I
one
guess
thing
I'll
that
grind
is
PG.
absolutely consistent in this game, because it's consistently inconsistent.
Yeah,
So
which is why every time you get botted, you just can't blame anything because you know.
no, you really can't. I mean, the game is really deciding often enough for itself. But the early game is fairly okay for the most part. It's not that difficult. Problems really start like at the mid game because of some issues with, you may remember this from other games, all of a sudden insane difficulty spikes in different ways actually as well. And sometimes we check actually on values, they made
Well,
no
that was a
sense.
quick. It's over, boys.
What happened?
You will see.
Why didn't even start
Oh.
for me?
Okay, yeah. David,
Sorry, guys,
Got
who
it.
wanted to hear the
Done.
7 theme? It's already over.
never again are we going to carry.
Well, you
Right.
get like 3 more chances to hear it.
Yeah, there's a stun. Okay, that's a late stun, man. So basically, this fight is a HP value trigger fight. You need to go get him down for like 10 to 15% of his HP, which is fairly easily done, especially if you are getting a stun, and it automatically jumps into a cutscene.
You know, it sees you live and you get another one again.
This one is way easier to get, usually. Until
Oh,
the
yeah.
game decides. Oh well, you actually did get it.
Yes.
Okay. This fight combo is exactly the same if you don't get the stun. You just pray that you don't get hit, which usually happens until it doesn't.
Yep.
So you lose your banish. You're like, what the fuck, game? Please?
Like sometimes you pull off the Viola Banish and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you get Iron Stance because you're good at the game.
No, you're a cheater, Ken, that's why.
I will never forget the Iron Stance Banish.
Well, I say you're a cheater, but I pulled some really cheatery stuff.
I'm gonna call that you had a not seen passive effect for that one. Because of the skill system, it can also happen that if you're picking up equipment and just equipping it, that you accidentally have some certain combinations or skills on your equipment that you may not aware of, and you actually have some stuff.
Maybe.
So I'm
But
just
I-
calling per random, you just got something that gave you the Iron Stance for it.
Well, all I know
Eisen!
is that
Good old friend. So, if you ever hear a rumor that you can beat this fight on the first encounter, this specific encounter, it's just a rumor. It's a lie. We tested it, we got the plot armor, HP, and you are forced to flee from this battle. There is no other way. In a later iteration, you can
we're
actually
just done by second best girl, because we all know that Miklo is best girl.
Please,
Uh,
Edna will always be best girl.
You are saying that, not me.
Get out. And she joins us after we met her big bro, Eisen. You might be wondering where Eisen was, or all this cutscene you saw it very well.
Oh, hello,
because
hit
it
me!
was a-
Hit me! Hello? Hit me! Wow. Okay, I got trolled by... I'm not gonna spoil the character here. I never seen her just run away from me.
What the fuck?
Basically, in that fight, you wanna get some BGE with the auto steps, but usually she attacks you. But this time, she just did not. Which is
What?
pretty.
Just these things. I
Yeah.
guess.
Also say no to the bridge.
Because otherwise it's game over.
Yeah.
Right?
Never
Pretty
confess
much.
your sins to the bridge.
Now you can actually like take any option you want. It's okay. The only thing that changes if you are taking if you are going to do it directly, you get an additional cutscene and an additional input that you have to make.
And extra cutscene to skip is slow. Especially when you can press left and right click to how's it? To say yes. So you don't have any more input to say.
Alright, time for one of the coolest amortizations.
Earth armor. So Anna joins with a weapon that gives her an extra action time she does a combo. So she, when you are amortizing, you have a 4 combo stage, which allow you to basically do a 3-hit combo instead of going back to the first one, which would be kind of useless. It doesn't do that much damage. We're just going to cast a spell and cancel it, and we're going to be able to keep our combo going. The only problem with that is that since it's going to cost SC, we can't keep that going forever.
Ooh.
Or like, we can't keep that going forever in this setting. I'm pretty sure you can, with skilled shenanigans, make sure that that would not surprise me.
Spells canceling is a thing in this game. And it only works if you are using a spell on your last combo stage. And since Edna has 4 combo stages right now, thanks to her weapon as mentioned, you can spell cancel, and the delay after the normally the last hit of the combo, you have a slight delay before you can start again. And with the spell cancelling, you actually overcome it and you can directly chain into another combo. Which is pretty good. It's useful, definitely.
So I guess my voice cut it out when I explained spell cancelling, right?
No.
Again, please?
Don't think so.
Because like what Ito said, I ended. I guess my voice cut it out when I did. Oh well.
Oh, yeah, could be happening.
Poor LGG cannot explain stuff like he wants.
I'm sad.
His phone is absolutely not allowing him, like, denied.
Please, Phone Senpai, leave me do my things.
Phone Senpai sounds actually interesting, huh?
I mean, we are in an era where we make everything turns into anime. So why not?
Yeah, most of it actually came through, yeah.
I couldn't hear it over the combat.
Oh, is LG? I put LG 200% on the Discord. I don't know. I guess you're not loud enough.
Whatever. Just going to roll with it. Fine.
Yikes.
It's all cool, man. It's all cool. I got you covered.
I'm just going to yell. It's okay.
Oh, rip headphone users.
Well, if you guys don't hear what I say, just say it again.
I think they can
Is
hear
that
you
fine?
clearly during like when I'm walking around. It's just the combat is kind of loud sometimes.
Yeah, combat in this game and sound is like an issue. That's for sure.
Especially with Earth Arma and Japanese voice tag.
Probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Japanese voice acting is a little bit more crazy than English. I can't bet it because I'm not exactly sure, but I know that usually it's a Korean.
I never played actually on English voices here in Zestiria, so I have actually no idea.
Me neither, but I heard them because I was watching Fel's VOD while learning this game. And he only runs games in
paid
English.
attention to the voices actually when I was watching Fel.
I totally did not got my PB in English voices while I run most of the time in Japanese. So okay, this place is terrible because
Oh, yes.
why are you not saving here? Are you crazy?
Boom,
Shin?
boom, boom. Hmm?
He wants a second world record.
Don't
He's
worry.
not satisfied with just one.
I switched my saving location since I know where the spawns are in that room, those rooms.
Oh boy, I actually learned the spawn location.
Of course, it's pretty simple. Once you have done multiple runs,
Hey, stop calling me out like that. Probably did as many runs as you.
Remembering
What's that?
spawn location is actually a good thing because there are certain enemy in certain areas And especially in like caves or the aqueducts, for example, enemies can actually hang onto the ceiling, like in Zestiria as well. And if you kind of like know what types of enemy are only possible in what area, in certain areas, you can kind of like conduct that if you're not seeing an enemy at a certain spot, you kind of like have two more options. It's either an invisible enemy, or it's an enemy that's on the ceiling, and so you can actually check the ceiling. If there is no enemy on the ceiling, well, then you have an invisible enemy. And some invisible enemies are actually pretty nasty because centipedes are greeting you again. And they have a weird hitbox, so you can get caught off guard easily from them, and bad times. Also, hi Arthur!
Yeah, that's Artorius right there.
Artorius.
Totally him.
New amortized form, Artorius.
Illusionary force.
So conveniently, Arthur is weak to Earth. It's an Earth weakness, and we got just an more or less infinite combo on Earth Amortization. Yeah, well, why not? Let's go! It's pretty easy to keep him staggered for the most part, as long as the AI kind of like cooperates a little bit. If you see like Alicia, for example, is going in and comboing, maybe wait out a little bit, regenerate some SC, and then move on. You'll see we're already on the 6+ combo.
That was a really long combo, by the way.
Yeah, that was a really long combo. On the other hand, he actually does hurt. So these cleaves are actually dangerous, so you need to be a little bit careful. Not so much about Alicia, we don't care about her XP, but about Layla. Or Mikleo, depending on who is around. But this fight is actually overall not going so bad, so...
Well, if you don't count stance, yeah, I guess it was okay.
So just
70 combo, oh boy, oh boy.
we did not really explain super armor in this game. It's actually kind of important to explain.
Super armor. How do you explain super armor? Basically, it's a shield that denies you completely. It can happen under a couple of circumstances. Mainly, if you are not properly comboing enough. You, for example, know if you messed up your Earth Amortization combo, if you're kind of like trying to learn spell cancelling and chaining. If a boss goes into super armor, you messed up. Super armor is really basically a combo breaker shield, like other systems are implemented in other Tales games, where you cannot combo an enemy anymore because they are forced to break out and you cannot get them back in. Super armor is basically the same.
And AI likes to extend super armor.
Yeah, there's another issue with super armor actually, which can make the AI in this game actually pretty bad. Because if super armor is actually triggered, then and you try to attack and you succeed actually to attack, the super armor gets extended. So you need to actually wait out all attacks for a certain amount of time to actually attack again, so attacks actually hit again.
Oh, okay, this might be bad.
Oh, hi Drake.
This boss can paralyze you.
That was a weird...
Then you can auto dodge, or if you have the status ailments. And when you're paralyzed, your attacks sometimes don't go.
It's fine, the paralyzed wasn't that bad.
Yeah, well, it's still sticking. Paralyze is probably the most annoying and most hated status ailment in this game, because Paralyze is actually really potent and really bad.
You forgot Petrify.
Petrify?
Yeah. You know, the thing that you can't heal, but I actually managed to heal it twice.
You cannot heal under any status ailment. You are getting denied under any status ailment, so...
You can heal Petrify somehow.
Well, I got that
No,
song
how-
finisher.
No, you can cure it. Yeah, Petrify cannot be
Yeah.
cured, it can only be immune, you can only get immune. But Petrify is easily dodged.
Yeah, true.
You just need to either block or... Yeah, you just block
Yeah.
basically. You can also turn around, but you just block.
Or use a spell. That works too.
Petrify cannot be dispelled.
Nope, that one cannot be.
There's nothing that can dispel Petrify.
Once you're petrified, you're done.
The only way to get off Petrify is to die. It's no
well,
joke.
then
You need to
I'm
die.
going to send you my highlights where I was verified and suddenly was not later on. And you're gonna be as surprised as I was when this happened.
Then there was
Anyway.
something happening there, but there is no item that can cure it and no spell.
It's supposedly not curable, but I'm a cheater.
So right now,
I mean,
Normans appear
We're
on the
talking
map.
about Zestiria. So, I mean, we're talking about Zestiria. Everything is possible.
You just gotta believe in your dreams.
Yeah, probably. I have no idea how many glitches, soft locks, crashes, or whatever I've seen, but this game has taken the cake. All of it. And it always surprises me anew. So, there is always something new happening.
Alright, so now we have unlocked Normans. The way Normans works. Also, why are you not set?
Hmm?
Why are you not setting Normans to? Hi.
I
My
cannot.
voice cutting again?
Yeah, your voice is cutting.
Yeah, I was asking, why are you not setting your Normans to your ring?
I'm not setting those Normans on my ring. I will set mine, then Spirit on my ring.
Okay. Well, anyway. Normans are basically a one-time skill that you can set on any equipment you have. So, this is basically ensuring us to get one soldier, and if we already had one set up with the early shopping in the delay, it basically gives us a second one right there, because we can have everything but attack as Normans. So it's really just 4 skills that we need to set up.
Yeah, since attack is part of the story, and yeah, we cannot get his buff apparently.
Yeah, pretty much. He joins us, but we never actually found him. We cannot trigger him.
Yep.
Thank you, game. So right now, if Shin did not mess up and got good stuff, which I think he did.
I already have soldier if you're talking about that.
Yeah, if you have double soldier, right?
I have one soldier since I only have one attack.
Oh, right.
Since the
Yeah,
kill
attack
size
is
war
mainly the
guarantees an
problem.
attack skill.
Yeah.
Well, then why did you not go for the armor for it? It has Rangus on it.
Screw that.
It has Rangus on it.
Dude, my body piece already has Rangus. I don't need another Rangus, which will do
Oh,
nothing.
you're right. I guess you're right. You did not really pay attention to your skills setup.
Yeah, getting the knack of the skills and the mechanic behind the grid can take a bit, but
So this
if
fight
you
is
get
big-
it, it's really easy and you can really make advantage of it.
This fight is
Also,
basically
this guy.
where Luna dies if she ever wants to die. Because
Yep.
this guy can like shot her.
This guy can be really mean because This boss has a swing attack where it basically swings around the arms. And
This-
the range is actually ridiculous.
Yeah, this guy likes to kill Lila quite often.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, he goes for the one that has the least amount of HP. Obviously, she's the one. So she's going to be targeted. And yes, diagonal running because it's faster by 44% or something like that on keyboard. It doesn't work on controller. It's
Yep.
Design exception.
It's
It's
intended
the keyboard.
keyboard.
No. No, this is absolutely not intended. I'm going to agree on the Break Soul Mystic art in Zestiria that is actually possibly intentional, but I'm not agreeing on this being intended. No way. No, it's actually a programming glitch that's happening for whatever reason. They probably never separated or arranged the diagonal movement speed using 2 movement directions at the same time. And that's why this is happening. This is also the only reason why we have split categories between gamepad and mouse and keyboard. Because as Fel in chat mentioned, and LGG earlier, it's around 40 to 44% increased movement speed, which is a huge deal throughout the whole run. Yeah.
Probably
Alright,
should
so
do this.
now
Also remember.
now we are going to head to next area. We're basically done with this place. We saved everyone. Woohoo! We are still safe here. Like that's kind of our
Getting
job.
some new battle actions as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't forget it before I need
part.
it.
Yeah, next part is actually fun. We mentioned before that normal humans having issues or cannot see Seraph. Well, the upcoming fight can actually be a very interesting fight. I had no idea at first. I wasn't paying attention to it, but the next big battle, you can actually... It technically is completely free. Because you can abuse the fact that they cannot see Seraphs. And if you have any troubles at all, just switch over to a Seraph and you're Gucci.
Yeah, just like the assassins fight earlier. Just use them with Seraph only. Though they don't really give any reward if you beat them, because
Yes,
Oh boy,
fun and
triggered.
zesty, indeed.
Iris Gems, hello. We're gonna talk about you later. Moving on. That's the reason why. Yeah, it's a side quest we actually have to do to
Yep.
progress the main story, and it takes up like half an hour alone. So Iris Gems are no fun at all, and I've seen a lot of people having issues completing that part actually. The game
It's
is
true.
kinda like indicating you where you have to go for them, but 1 or 2 of them are actually not directly indicated. And people actually got frustrated about this part.
well, it might be frustrating casually, but it's really fun to route and to do.
Oh, it's
speedruns.
definitely fun to route. Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's
You
probably
got
like
additional
one of
boss
the
fights.
part. It just is such cool movement you gotta do.
Yeah,
Such cool
definitely.
Wait, this
Oh.
little number is Rangus. We talked about it, never explained what it is. Rangus gives you plus 20% damage on stun. Do I really need to explain how broken this can be?
Well, you probably need to explain how broken it becomes with all the other possible
Yikes,
multipliers
dude.
we are getting. Zestiria is a pile of stacking multipliers, and we have multiple multipliers we can increase, like elemental damage, like stun damage, and whatnot. And this is actually ramping up the amount of damage we can deal later on.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting. She can have
That's
it.
cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
okay.
I have Soldier and Edna and Sorry now. Interesting.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's basically double soldier.
Yeah.
there.
Would have been
Under-
nice to get it earlier though.
Under amortization, yes. No, actually not. No, it's not. The boards are not combined. It's
Oh,
a single
you're right.
soldier.
You're right. You need to activate some battle action to have that.
Yeah, there's a certain battle action that you cannot unlock in the speedrun. But casually, where the boards under amortization are getting combined. So under amortization, only I think Soray's board actually counts, and the base stats of the equipment. But it could actually be that Soldier gets triggered for Edna on the stats and the stats still count. I'm not 100% sure on that.
The master.
It still
above-
does count as double Soldier.
So it's double soldier, guys.
So it gets actually counted before and then the amortization takes effect. Okay. I could get behind that, yeah.
So we're just punching dudes right now, killing an army. That's what we do. So shit.
Yeah, I had a guess about that. True, true. Oh, hi. You wanna have that fight?
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
procedural. Because what's the name of that battle?
Hmm?
It's the name of the battle action that we're going to abuse right
Chain Blast.
Chain Blast, yeah. We're gonna use that a lot because we can't really deal that much damage with amortization in this fight. And also shadows, this cutscene breaking. Daylight just
Oh yeah, Leiden. Or the Ladon.
London.
Leiden. London. No,
London.
London probably not. This guy is like the definition of annoying super armor. If your timing is off, you're gonna have a bad time with this guy. Also, this is why the refresh was happening, because we are having the Mystic Art tutorial in here. So we can use a bunch of BG and have some fun with this guy, also munching him down
What?
a little bit faster.
The hell? Okay, that was awkward.
Yeah, what you basically need to do
Oh,
is...
come on. I did not understand there. Okay.
Oh wow, that was an interesting combo of him.
What you need to do here is basically combo him a bunch, get the HP threshold to get the cutscene, then use your Mystic Art. Like, wait, I think it's not an HP threshold, it's
And he's
just a
dead.
diamond.
It is an HP threshold.
Sadly, this was like one of the coolest strats, and we will not see something like that ever again during this run.
Yeah, probably
because-
not.
Because you
That's
can
too-
combo like this, which is pretty cool.
It costs too many BGs that we can't really refresh, and it's not useful as... you can't use it as your armor. The AI, though, might use it a bunch. Which can be nice. Also, this is the bad guy. This is Velvet's... but 1,000 years later.
Velvet the 1000 years.
Lord of Calamity.
There are actually not really iframes in this game. The only iframes I think you have is
Amortization.
either having the skill invulnerability or during the amortization animation, but overall there are not really iframes possible.
Also, shout out to
Iframes not equal like Iron Stance. Iron Stance is a different mechanic.
Alright, so this is bag of potato actions.
Pack of potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, having good times. Interactive cutscenes.
Yep.
I mean, this one is fun because you just have to hit that spot and you're done. It's not like you have to wait for NPCs, it's just that you have to hold up. And you can speed it up. Like, you can speed it up with diagonals for every movement, but not here. 1,000 faster. We
Yeah,
tried.
true. You can consider perfect dodge also. Yeah, okay, it has slight iframes. Possible, yeah. Actually, what's fun about this part is actually what's coming up. I hope Shin is nailing it. Shin, you gonna do it?
Yeah, you got it.
Alright, awesome. That's my man here. That's my boy Blue. Because, you remember Collision? Let's go. we got a little bit of a speed up carry. It's not that much faster, don't get irritated by it. The only difference is that the waiting time between the stations where Rose is basically stopping is just a little bit shorter. Rose acts like a guide, and she only moves forward if you are in a certain distance of range from her. And yeah, well, but we can make it a little bit easier, a little bit more relaxing. You just need to take 1 or 2 steps, and there you go.
Easy
Also,
road
make sure you
straight.
are not too fast here. If you are too fast, actually jumping off Rose, you're actually not triggering this cutscene because Rose is actually not on the designated point. So you have to kind of like get behind Rose and then move forward. Also, that
Point
sounds
out-
awkward.
Oh.
You actually move faster than Rose on keyboard. So you don't need to do that on keyboard. You can just...
Okay, yeah, I never tested it on keyboard because I don't play keyboard.
Nice
But
switch.
I guess, yeah, true.
Why thank you? At least I did not miss it.
And yeah, Rose just basically is going to join our party right now. She has double knife. She's basically Rokuro, but
It's daggers, not
One-sided.
knives, alright?
hey, that's the same thing. Don't. And coming up is also the best boss ever.
Whoa, what did you just say?
It's totally
Did
not
you
a clown
just say
fiesta.
the best boss ever?
Yeah, it's totally not a clown fiesta. Or not.
Oh no, absolute no. Difficulty spikes.
Are you guys okay?
I'm cool. I just never heard the combination of best boss ever in the context of Dragon Newt. So, The next upcoming boss fight is actually a pretty hard boss, and the reason is really high stats, really high HP, and really high damage.
By the way, snacks.
Way too high.
It's not the worst boss ever. No, I'm not talking about the worst boss, but I'm not saying this is the best fight. I have to disagree slightly.
It's like,
Oh yeah, that guy. Oh boy, that's probably the worst one.
Well nailed it. This Dogo.
I can get behind White Doggo, I don't agree, but I get behind definitely. He is a pain. True. Oh yeah, this is actually an interesting part. Talking about weird stuff in Zestiria. One time on one of my NG Plus runs, where I can basically spam Earthshaker, that's the skill from Ethnos Amortization, I actually managed to freeze an upcoming dialogue. It was actually the last dialogue. Because this fight is dialogue trigger based. So we need to see a certain amount of dialogues happening between Rose and Soaring. A total amount of 3 dialogues in total. And I actually managed to, due to my spamming, freeze the last dialogue, and the fight never stopped. It was moving on and on and on, and we got spawn after spawn after spawn, and I was wondering, like, I'm like over a minute here. Normally this takes like 50 seconds. What's happening? And then I realized that the dialogue was actually frozen on screen while I was mashing.
Talking about frozen dialogues, there can be really weird stuff happening with dialogues if you mess up with your audio settings on computer. The way I have set up is that I have like sound calculator software from Elgato in my computer, and if I mess up with them, I can have like no game audio on, and that can make the little skits go instantly or never go, or like it's never going to fall.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know how or why it's going to differentiate it, but since it's hardware differentiation, we banned it, basically. So it would like speed up few fights. This fight, for example, would be speed up. The London fight would be speeded up to held out, probably. So like there's it would be cool, but weird.
Come on, hit me.
Dragnewt is like one of the first serious bosses, because for whatever reason his increase compared to the last boss, his increase in stats, damage and HP is just on such a different scaling, and this happens actually multiple times during the run. That's why at some point you may think like, we are doing no damage. Yeah, well, we're actually really doing not that much damage, but we cannot do more damage at all. And it's, yeah. I mean, thanks to auto-dodging in these transitions where we get into a new phase, actually auto-dodging gets reset. We only have a certain amount of amounts that we can use it or can be used, and thanks to that it actually refreshes, so we have more than enough for usage. Or still, this... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rose just joined. She can armatize from first which I hope not. And also we can now wind armatize. Get off. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. The wind armatize is pretty much the only way to get through this fight.
Yeah, his only weakness is wind. Yes.
And dragon, and you can't really proc dragon.
True, that as well, yeah. Yeah, we don't have any dragon arts right now.
Yes, this is Oscar.
Yeah, this is Oscar. The sad part is it's the actually worse version of Oscar, not the better one.
Ouch.
Wind Amortization in Zestiria actually is not that good, as the boss fight in Zestiria actually shows.
The only
It
cool
has
thing
a couple issues. Ooh! Ow!
The only cool thing about Wind Arma is the rejuvenation, which is basically a healing spell, kind of like Vanish. It costs 1 BG, but it allows you to heal a lot of HP, or well, it kind of changes depending on the armor that is running. But Wind Arma is basically going to heal the AoE healing spell and deal damage at the same time. That's neat. And also
Definitely.
nice. Totally not one of the best cool looking.
It took a while in my opinion.
And
Nice.
it looked like an average.
That was overall not a bad fight. Some hiccups here and there, and the stun. But overall actually behaving. And ladies and gentlemen, we now officially have our speed tag. Sadly not as good as we want it to be, but it's gonna get better. You're gonna see a weird circle with a feather or feather-like symbol on Soray, that is wind stepping. And wind stepping is actually an interesting mechanic, which kind of like forces us more or less to do encounters. Because every time we do an encounter, we actually gain another stack of wind stepping, as well as the duration gets refreshed. So with this, we're gonna try to
come on, dude.
as much as possible. The only problem right now is we only have at max 30 seconds, which is too low. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay,
It's gonna
this is
take a
get
while.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
why I dislike this place sometimes.
Hello, another game feature, Dangerous Encounters. You may
So-
remember this from Cilia. You explain.
Yeah, so we want to be refreshed here, but we don't want a dangerous encounter, because this is basically like buffed encounter and a lot more enemies to fight. But it also increases the to run away quite a big amount of
For
time.
quite a while.
Yeah, it's like 3 times the amount you usually take to escape.
Well,
And they are really dangerous.
Please don't take an extra encounter.
Nah, I quick save just for that. I didn't mind the encounter, but it was dangerous, so it was an issue.
Yeah, right now we are not utilizing wind stepping that much. We kind of like take it after boss fights, but that's about it. Later on, and that is another thing that's actually fairly interesting and many people probably never noticed. If you have 2 characters in your party with wind stepping active, they actually stack the duration. So we can go from 30 seconds up to 1 minute. And that is actually a quite significant amount to make use of it constantly. So later on, like in the mid part of the game, we're gonna utilize it more. But for now, you have seen it and keep it in mind.
In New Game Plus, if I remember correctly, you can even go up to plus 130.
Yep,
in one
there is
specific
one
boss.
part in the run where you have 1.5 minutes. And it's the best part of the run, basically. Because from the point where you get it to the point you have to go, you don't need any taking any encounter. There's just no need.
Sounds so nice.
It's so good. Oh yeah, that's actually a thing as well. True, Fel. Yeah, you hit max speed faster if you have multiple characters. These stacks basically add up as well, double.
Oh, and by the way, this little skit right there is because Rose in voice acting in Japanese. Just love the way she flicks out.
This is one of the more hilarious cutscenes. If you remember in Zestiria, the Magilu cutscenes where you enter what's the city called?
Logres?
Logres.
Is it Logres? No, not
Yeah.
Logres.
Can't-
Where the Citadel is. Or is it Logres? Yeah, Logres Villa actually. Yeah, true. Logres.
Yeah. No,
It has kind of also a hilarious scene. Well, this is comparable to it a little bit.
I guess. I mean, it's kind of the same idea. So what we're trying to do here is kind of the only secret. Basically, we're grabbing the save point right there during this cutscene, and if we go, because if you go down this alley and there's no cutscene, when you go down, you're gonna have to do a little side trip that doesn't do anything to the story, just a trip that you have to take. And it only happens when you go down the alley, never if you go up. So we are actually never going to trigger this cutscene, basically, otherwise the cutscenes. And right now is Sergey 1. This fight is very fun if you don't get stuck.
If you don't get stunned. This
eat
is
it!
interestingly scripted fight. Basically, the idea behind this fight is it starts off fairly easy and slow. And the lower Sergey actually gets in HP, the more aggressive he gets. Like, really completely comboing, as you have seen, also with new skills. And you try to kind of like have a good stun after like 20-25% HP down, where you can one-shot him with a Mystic Arts before he actually can get out of control, because he can actually just outright murder you.
Sergey is so deadly when he's low HP.
Yes. Also, you may wonder, hey Ito, you explained like refreshing wind stepping with battles. Yeah, well, there's another mechanic happening with wind stepping that I didn't talk about. Because it's eavesdropping, we don't do that, no, never. But if you happen to eavesdrop on townsfolk on certain spots, you can actually also gain a stack and a refresh of wind stepping. And, well, you see the increase in movement speed, right? Get used to it.
Please.
Because we're gonna try to
Thank
keep
you.
that up in the late game for the entire run. And it feels so good and so weird if you don't have it. Oh, nice refresh, you got it. Awesome.
Yeah, I can go fast for 30 seconds now.
Yeah, I mean, you see the amount. I mean, in the gamepad run, it's not that much, but if you add the keyboard glitch, the movement glitch to it, well, this is fast. This is definitely a lot faster than any gamepad run you will ever see, sadly.
And this is
Oh,
why
wow.
when you go from Zestiria movement speed to Berseria, you are kind of frying inside.
By the way, nice and
Oh,
dry.
yes.
Inside, sorry.
And
Yeah, nice and dry.
sorry, and I kind of your movement. But yeah, when you go from Zestiria movement to Berseria movement, where you don't have keyboard glitch and you don't have wind step, you're sad. I really,
Definitely,
the first
yeah.
hour in Berseria, I really wanted to just punch myself or punch the game because of how slow it was. I was just hating it.
This man is not really fast enough yet. We will see later in the run how
Sadly
fast he
not
can
yet,
get.
Yeah. Sadly not yet.
You nearly took that encounter, didn't you?
I'm good at dodging, you know?
Yeah,
That
that
was
is kind of like an issue. You don't see enemies on the radar, and if your camera angle is actually a little bit too far diagonal, you can actually miss an encounter and run into them when you're going that fast, because it's actually hard to break down on that
Yeah,
movement
especially
speed. So
when
you need to have like a good reaction level.
especially the furry suits, they are just like centipedes. As in, they're going to be invincible and then they're going to spot you.
Oh
so
yeah.
they're- And that's
That is
very
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun to run into centipedes in a cave where you have nearly no way to dodge. That's fun.
Totally not calling out the next dungeon.
Oh no, not at all. I would never spoil Salamander. Never.
Oh, come on, dude. Spoilers!
I just love this game. I'm so sorry, guys. You may not understand why I'm so hyped and so pumped, but I just really love this game. I'm so excited to actually also like cast Chin on Zestiria, because that I've been actually looking forward to. I did cooperation with Fel on Zestiria runs and casting. So this is kind of like, yeah, you know, little dreams are coming true.
Then the best dream is that you come to ESA so we can do some co-ops game.
I would so actually love to come to ESA, but I have financial problems with that, and probably also time issues. So yes, I'm really sorry.
Well, it's fine. I'm going to have some sweet time with Val.
Oh, you better make sure that you are gonna practice some speedrun strats for co-op.
Oh yeah, I mean we're gonna play that shit. TSA. I hope we will. I'm sure we will.
We definitely will. Since Zesty co-op's speedrun would be really interesting to see.
Oh, definitely. One thing to mention actually about co-op, there's one nitty gritty where I have to say that Zestiria is a bad co-op game for more than 2 persons. Because the problem is, if you amortize, only one player can control actually that character. And that is the character that controls Rose or Sorry. So players 3 and 4 are getting kinda like, I mean, you can take it as chill time, but yeah, it's sad. It's actually sad.
In my casual playthrough, it was 3 players, and the way we had it set up is basically like one person was controlling Rose and spamming that one art that she is really good at spamming. And I was with Sore amortizing, and the third one was just switching in and out surfing. So
That's
it
definitely
kind
a
of
way
worked
to do
out.
it, sure.
It kind of worked out, but like sure, you're missing on like a lot of amortization. For like something is going to be wrong at some point if you go 3 player, considering like you know what is the optimal way to play, so why not do it?
Yeah, definitely. I felt that in my no amortization speedrun I did on NG+. It felt awkward. I mean, it's still also... Sore is an awesome character when it comes to martial arts and hidden art. His arts are actually way better than Velvet's overall because he is, like, throughout all arts, really good. And it's still fun to play, but as man, you are missing out on the main feature of the game, and that feels awkward.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see Sora shine, hopefully, in one fight game where we will actually have the AI on near the end of the game, and you're gonna see how cool combos of Sora can, as long as it doesn't die. So we have a tutorial here, so we get a video. We learn Lion's Howl, which is kind of useless, but it's blood.
Yeah, it's mandatory. We need this.
And that's why on Sergey 1 we can just MA, because we get it. So it's just really convenient. Like basically anytime you see a tutorial in this game, we're trying to do our best to make full usage of the PG refresh. Since it's so rare, and BGs are actually very, very useful in this game.
Yes, you can chain Mr. Cards and Brazil by your own.
Also, we got another ability that's called the bubble. It's basically we are invisible, and we need that also throughout the game multiple times. Enemies cannot see you, you can kinda like only slow walk past them. But in some areas, we actually needed to progress through these.
Yep.
As for example, exiting the city.
Yeah, that's basically the tutorial. You say, hey, you can use this ability, use it. You have to use it, use it. You have to use it, use it. And sometimes you just want to be a little bit too greedy with your movement because you know you move slowly, so you try to move a little bit up before using the water cloak, and it's a line that you should not hit, and you're sent back. Bad at my life.
We're gonna use Lion's Howl actually during the first Hallow fight.
Sure?
No.
No? You're not?
No, we don't. Though you should use it because it's marathon, but technically we don't.
Well, okay, technically,
And
it's
centipedes.
third phase. It's the third phase of the first fight. Oh, hi. Yeah, centipedes. Talking about awkward enemies.
This place right
I'll
there is
just
terrible.
continue Squid. I don't mind losing one tutorial.
Tutorial. Rip 1 BG on Rose because she decided to heal.
Wow.
Because, you know, it's... Yeah, actually, I know why she healed. It's part of that keyboard glitch when you have a text box and you are into a menu. So basically what happened is when Shin pressed escape, for the game it also meant that it was strat heal as much as possible. So that's basically what Rose did right there. We ran away and at the same time we triggered the stay on the defense strat, which we're using right now for a very specific reason. A, we don't want Layla to die. B, we don't want to trigger super ammo, which the AI is very unable to do. And C, in order to refresh our SC, we are going to use Layla's healing spell, which is going to heal both your HP and your AC. So that allows us to keep the combo going a little bit longer. So we are basically going to take some damage in order to that spell. Make sure you don't die while doing so. You have back here.
Yeah, the AI only heals if you are at least missing 1 HP. If you are at full HP, they are not healing you, so you try to take some damage.
Obviously,
as you have seen, it can go wrong because he took like 1500 damage from that one breath. So not being at full HP is actually a risk of dying instantly.
Dying in this game is really rough because you use half of your BG.
Oh yeah, that as well.
And like losing BGs in this game just feels bad. Feels really bad.
And that was fine.
Oh, we got actually a stun and a quick banish. Yeah, there you saw that quick banish is actually pretty awesome because it's instantly, if you happen to have a long stun, you can actually get 2 quick banishes off. It's possible.
Really hard with Earth because Earth's quick banish is like the banish animation
is so long. It takes ages. But it's a lot of hits as well, so if you're like looking for stylish high combos, Earth Amortization is probably the go-to.
Well, first there is a very good infinite combo that you can do with Earth. Like it's very cool to pull off. And not too hard once you master it.
Yeah.
And banish.
Like, spell cancelling in this game is pretty simple, but it only works on Earth Amortization.
Well, you can do it with anyone. You
Yeah,
just
but
an extra combo.
yeah, the thing
In
is,
Speedrun.
Earth Armor's last combo hit, the first stage, staggers long enough for you to resume that combo with spell cancelling.
Yes.
Well, technically, you can also do it with water, but low.
Lul, what the ripsity cost.
I totally saw that keepo on LGG's face right there.
I mean, I had it once on the next fight, so I was like, maybe I'm gonna use it. I tried, and I quickly realized that it was a mistake. You can also do it with fire, but fire has a really bad combo, like out combo and lull wind. Just don't use.
There's a reason why I switched those? Okay.
So yeah, there is only Earth left.
So, I hope you're liking the OST because pretty soonish it gets more awesome.
Shoutouts to Goshina.
Yes.
Basically, every songs that you remember in this game is made by Goshina. It's
Yeah, no, not for me. Actually,
what?
I'm a Motoi Sakuraba fanboy, like to no end.
Yeah, I mean, I also enjoy Sakuraba, but you can't deny that Goshina's songs are all amazing.
They are absolutely no contest.
Like, you can't give me any bad songs from Goshina, and it just no, you can't. I'm sorry.
I'm not disagreeing to that. Absolutely, I'm not disagreeing. So we are doing some upgrading.
Yeah, we need 10 fusions in order to get one title for Layla, which is going to be important for the last arts
Okay, that's more than enough.
her to learn.
Oh, we actually didn't touch on that, right? The title system becomes a little bit more important now.
Ooh,
How do we learn arts? Well, basically there is a certain chain. How do you learn your arts? Like, as usual, you're gaining levels and you're learning stuff, like in other games. The thing is, the titles you are using are actually influencing the order, in which order you learn the arts.
And how fast you
Besides-
learn them too.
Huh?
How fast you learn them too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically the order in which order you learn the arts. It's depending on what title you are using, and besides that,
Oh,
they
he
also
ran
affect
away.
your stats. So they have additional effects for like races, for like stun length,
Just
stun
die.
damage, whatnot.
Yikes.
This guy also, by the way, is actually a normal enemy, just a higher level one, but it's a normal enemy. He's a complete joke. But basically with the title we can influence when we learn what, and at certain point we want to have certain skills. So that's why the title system comes more and more important right now. Because we want to
And
make sure
basically-
that we have certain arts.
Basically, after the next boss, we're gonna learn the art that changes this game from a pain to a blessing.
Yep.
And that's only if Layla did not die throughout the whole early game. So up until now, if she did not die, you're gonna learn it. If not, you're gonna have to wait for the next boss, which is very, very sad. This boss really
Definitely.
takes a huge deal without that new art. And we're gonna do shoutouts to high grain music. I had it in the playlist, I think, but setup was too fast, so we didn't get to hear it. Correct?
Also, casual question. How many people in chat that have played Zestiria actually noticed and caught up on how these torches are working?
In Berseria, you mean?
No, here in Zestiria, in the Fire Shrine.
Oh yeah, it took me forever to figure out. It's just my friends were face palming throughout the whole dungeon because I was near one and they were like, "Dude, it's so easy to understand how this works." And I was just like, "I don't understand myself." Then I figured it out and I was like, "Oh, it was free actually." Okay.
It is actually very easy, but you can overlook it also super easily.
Like if you're
Basically,
just like,
what's going
hey-
on? Huh?
if you're like, "Hey, it's torches, let's just light them up in random order, and let's not care about the order," you're just going to not.
Yeah, it's definitely something you can overlook, but if you're seeing it, you're like, oh, please. So basically, what's happening under each torch there is there are basically lines. You can easily call them Romanian numbers, more or less. And they are indicating the order in which order the torches have to be lit up. Later on, you only see them on one side. That means you have to light them up on that specific side. And especially the later ones probably gave like a couple people at least a heart attack or a headache. Like, why is this not working? This worked all the time right now, but not yet. So it was funny seeing people like trying to figure it out and doing some actually pretty insane, crazy stuff about it.
Yeah, this is a trials. Also, this is one of the top 3 worst placed with encounters because you have a pretty damn high chance to hit encounters.
Oh yeah.
And like the way encounters work in this game, like if you're trying to interact with an object, usually the game is just going to let you do it and not give you a chance to have an encounter or trigger the torches. But ghosts don't care, and they're just going to hit you if they want to, even if you're lighting the torch.
Yep.
Because it's a good job.
That's why quick saves off in this dungeon.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
principle as in Zestiria. You can quick save and load to reset encounters.
And yeah, it was very, very sad whenever it happens, because obviously when it happens, you lose a video refresh.
Yep.
And losing video refresh again in this game just makes you want to do a table reset. Hate your life and hate this game. Want to stop.
Also, welcome. Hello, Salamander. Missed you, my old
Hello.
friend.
But this guy is where it gets tough.
Yeah, this
So-
is a serious
there's-
reason.
There's 2 reasons this guy is terrible. First one is he has a billion of. Second one is you can't use fire against him. There's that, but it's fine. That's not really a reason. Third one, the most important one, is Iron Stance.
You get Iron Stance like for
Have we
25%
ever
health
talked about
starting.
E effects? So basically what's happening, this guy that's coming up has an additional passive effect that lets him ignore every stagger until he drops below 70% HP. Now, that doesn't sound that bad. Well, soon enough you will see how long it takes us actually to get him below that HP value. Because we're not doing that much damage at all, even with water. This fight is a pain, and it's probably one of the most frustrating and disheartening fights in this game.
And also the hardest casually if you have like a breed mode setup.
Oh yes, definitely. Casually you can have actual issues. Because like these ads are also actually quite a pain to dealing with. So if you take like 5 minutes on this fight, that's actually pretty common.
Yeah, very much. We're gonna sit here and do and press left click or button. Oh, as in we, Shin.
We're gonna cheer him up. Go Shin, go! Go Shin, go! No, but seriously, this fight is actually pretty hard. Definitely. Even casually as well in the speedrun. We tried so many different tactics, like getting some more equipment on the way, it was tested out. I mean, we have some options that we can actually get some equipment, but we need to kind of like make a detour for that into a couple other areas. It still ends up being kind of like the same time overall, because the detour takes longer than the actual fight shortens.